Good morning, Edmonton. Looking good this Friday morning. And thanks to everybody, no matter where you're watching from and sharing this Friday with us. This is news we can all use. With Canada's annual inflation being the highest we have seen in over 30 years, many people are worried about making ends meet. Well, here's some food for thought. If your cost of living is going up, which is the case for all of us, maybe your salary should follow suit. Here to give us tips on how to successfully ask for a raise is career coach Sarah Vermunt. Good morning. How are you, Sarah?
Hi, good morning.
First things first, like we're all squeamish, I feel, about this. Like we all feel very nervous for the most part. Why are we so hesitant to ask for a raise?
Two reasons. One, we're afraid we might get a no. But then also, I think for the most part, most of us are afraid that we don't know how to make a compelling case. And if you don't know how to make a case for getting a raise, it's hard to muster the courage to actually ask.
It's so true. So you say first things first, prep. So how are we writing things down? Do we go, like, how are we prepping?
Yeah, there's two main things you have to do to prep. So one of them is actually to see what the market range is for your job. Like, what are other people getting paid for a job that's similar to yours? So that just means doing a little bit of market research, going to a couple of websites, maybe like Indeed, Glassdoor, to see what other postings are paying for a job that's similar to yours, so that you can actually ground your number in something that's realistic, right? And the most important thing, the second thing, is to bring some indicators about your performance to your boss. And ideally, you want to make sure that those are quantifiable. So bring them some numbers that demonstrate what your improvement has been. Have you found a way to make the company more money? Have you found a way to save the money? Have you increased engagement in some way? Have you had a bunch of extra people reporting to you in the last year? Bring some quantifiable numbers to show that your performance has gone up, not reflected.
It's so true. If you're a quiet, conscientious worker, they're not going to know what you're doing. They're busy. They don't have time to be like, oh, Sarah's been doing this, she's been doing that. So this is the one shot you have to write it all down and let them know what an asset you are to the team, to the company. So I got to ask about the email. Do you let on that you're going to talk about a raise, or do you say, hey, do you have 5 minutes for a chat? Like, how do you broach that? And is there one day or time of the week that's better than another? I imagine Mondays are a no-go and Fridays you're a buzzkill. So yeah. What are we writing in the email and when are we sending it out?
Yeah, that's exactly right. You're right. Nobody wants to have extra difficult stuff to do on a Monday because you're just trying to like clear out your inbox from the weekend. You don't want your boss to be stressed out. Also, Friday, people are just trying to wrap things up and get out of the office. So a midweek meeting is best. And when you send that interview request, you want to say something like a request for a meeting for like career goals or job progression and make the meeting about that. You don't have to say right away that you're going to be asking for a raise. Wait and make that ask in person during the meeting. Typically,
they're going to say, let me think about it, or maybe I have to talk to my managers and see if I can help you out. How long do you wait for a reply without a little polite nudge? And what if they say no?
Yeah, so in terms of when you go into this meeting, you shouldn't expect a yes right away. You should expect them to say, I've got to check in with the budget, I've got to talk to someone else. Then at that point, at the end of your meeting, you should say, is it okay if I check in with you in a week or 2 weeks just to see how this is going? So that holds them accountable for actually moving forward on it. And sorry, what was your other question?
If they say no, what do you do? Like, do you wait a certain amount? Do you revisit it down the road, or maybe they'll remember and then give you a little something extra when there is some money freed up?
Yeah, so you definitely should revisit it if they say no. And specifically, if they say no, you want to ask them the question, what would I need to do to be eligible for a raise 6 months from now? And that, again, keeps them accountable for being clear about their expectations and also accountable for, like, giving you the raise if you actually meet those expectations. So make sure that you're both on the same page about what's expected. That'll make it more likely that you'll get a yes in the future.
These are such great tips. And at the end of the day, if they can't and you're feeling like you're undervalued, they'll know where all that's coming from instead of feeling like, why didn't you let me know you were unhappy? Maybe I could have made it happen. You get rid of all of those questions and you don't have regret because you tried. The worst they'll say is no. And then they know more about what you do and how valuable you are, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And also, then you know how you feel about your job too, right? And you're no longer thinking, oh, I should hang in there. Maybe you think, well, I guess it's time to move on for another place that values me.
That's it. It's so awkward, but the great thing that can happen is that you'll get a raise. Awesome. For more information, Sarah, we check you out online, careergasm.com, or on Insta, careergasm. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All right, we'll be back with more BT right after this. Writing all those tips down, right, friends? Write it down. Okay, you sound off. It's a Friday. We have pandemic-free Fridays here. We're going to talk about anything but the pandemic.